Hello YouTube and welcome to this third part of my PlayStation 1 games collection. As I explained in the other videos, I'm a gamer, not a collector, so this is the games that I keep from that time. So in this one we started with the Lemmings and oh no, more Lemmings. This is a puzzle game. I'm a great fan of the Lemmings games since the Commodore Amiga. So when I saw this to the PlayStation 1, of course, I buy it. So it's the same levels, the almost the same graphics, the same sounds, but for those who like it very much of the Lemmings series, this is fantastic. So, Lemmings and the expression, oh no, more Lemmings. Here we have a game that was completely new at the time, Worms. This is a crazy great game that put two teams of worms fighting each other. There was another revolution game at the time. Great fun with this one. Worms, the first one. Here we have Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Red. So a strategic game. I was at the time a player of Warhammer with the miniatures. So when I saw this for the PlayStation, I tried it out. Um, not as good as the tabletop game, but very enjoyable. So Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Red. And here we have the second one, the Warhammer Dark Owen. A more darker game in the same line of the other one. Again, not as good as the tabletop game, but a good game. Here we have another game that was very popular in the PC, Command and Conquer. This one, the Red Alert, and this is a great game, at least for those who have the PlayStation at the time. We didn't have a lot of these games, so this one is very good, really very good. So Command and Conquer, Red Alert, the first one. Here's some adventure games. Here is Myst, one of the more popular adventure games of all time. This game has been in the most of the systems. Has a great graphics, great story, great sounds, amazing game. Myst. Here we have the sequel, Reiben. Was a crazy game, 5 discs in this one, was something amazing. And if the first one has a great graphics, this one is crazy with all the animations and everything, great sound, fantastic game. I spent a lot of hours just playing around of this island. Fantastic. So Reiben, and I think is my last adventure game, Amazon, for the PlayStation, was a great game. we didn't have a lot of adventure games at the time, so this one is very, very good also. Amazon. Here we have the Vanguard story by Squaresoft at the time. Great, great game. Fantastic game, this one. I also spent a lot of hours with this one. Vanguard story. And now we start with one of more surprising games to me at the time, with the Final Fantasy series. And here is the Final Fantasy VII. And I have a small story with this one. For a few months at the time, I heard a lot of this game. One of supposedly the best games in the PlayStation was the Final Fantasy VII. I found out there was a game that was released until number 6 in the Nintendo system. In this one is the first one to appear in the PlayStation. So I didn't know how this game works. So I buy it and try it, and I hate it. The first few times that I play it, I hate it. I am from a generation that usually we move the characters and shoot, and it's very, very, very fast. This game, when the battle starts, the game stops. So it was something new for me, and I didn't get it at the first times that I played it. Until one day that I discover that this is a great way to play a game. This RPG system that was the first one that I ever played. So this becomes one of my favorite games, the Final Fantasy VII. Great, great game. Of course, after this one, I get it the Final Fantasy VIII, quite different. This one, great intro, even today, one of the best intros that I ever saw. Fantastic. Not as good as 7, but good game. And the Final Fantasy IX. In some moments, maybe the best of this series for the PlayStation. Final Fantasy IX. Fantastic game also. Great, great game. Because of the success that they have in the PlayStation 1, they start remaking the games for the PlayStation. So we have here the Final Fantasy VI, and I must say, I play hours and hours and hours of this game without getting tired. It's fantastic. Fantastic game. So basically it's like the original for the Nintendo, but in this case with some full motion videos. At the time also has a demo for the Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2. So Final Fantasy VI, and I get this one also, the Final Fantasy Anthology, the European edition, that it has the Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy V. Again, is practically the same of the Nintendo games, but with a new full motion video. Also a great game. So when I started enjoyed the Final Fantasy 7 at the time, I stuck with these games. It was fantastic. So I started to try to play it all. Great, great games. And for my last two games to show you, one special edition that I get, the Grand Theft Auto Collection. Here we have the 3 original games, the Grand Theft Auto, the Grand Theft Auto London Mission Pack, and the Grand Theft Auto 2. So the GTA saga starts with this one, the original Grand Theft Auto. So I was very lucky to get this one. So the Grand Theft Auto Collector's Edition. Great games, great games. So right here, and for the last game that I'm going to show you was the game that I have to finish. The game was crazy. There was a great game. To me, is the best PlayStation 1 game that I play ever. The Metal Gear Solid. This game is amazing, even today. Fantastic game. Even I like it. Some other great games that I have, but this one was fantastic. Very hard. Was a type of game that I'm not used at the time. A stealth game, but when I found out the correct way to play this game becomes my number one. Metal Gear Solid, the first one. Great story. The story is amazing. The story is amazing. The characters, the bosses. Even today, I remember how hard it was to understand how to beat Psychomancies. For those who don't know, we have to change the part of the controller from the one for the second to be able to beat this boss, the Psychomancies. Was a crazy game at the time. Great game, fantastic game. So with this one, I finished showing all my PlayStation 1 games that I have, my small collection. I hope you enjoy it. See you soon.